Welcome to this webinar, 3 Keys to Focus and Clarity. I'm so pleased that you are able to put aside the busyness of your day to spend the next 30 minutes enriching your life. During the time we spend together today, I promise that you'll learn how to get unstuck and back into the flow of life. Let me take a minute to introduce myself. I'm Deirdre Walsh, and I'm a health coach. I help women create calm from chaos and to go from stress to ease. They learn to use mindfulness to listen to what their body really wants them to know. Overwhelm gives way to focus and clarity as they change their nutrition, exercise, and sleep from energy draining to energy sustaining. As they connect with their joy, their lives become richer, more meaningful, and a lot more fun. I trained as a coach at Duke Integrative Medicine, a division of Duke Medical School in North Carolina. Our program was based on the teachings of Dr. Andrew Weil, a pioneer in holistic health and medicine. So you're here today because you feel stuck somehow. There may be a situation that you have in your life that's taking up a lot of your time and attention, and you're looking for a way to get unstuck. One of my favorite ways to help clients is to show them how to get unstuck. They may be stuck in a small area in their life, something that's more like an irritation. Or they may be stuck in a big area in their life, something they badly want to change, but seem unable to do. I found this process that we're going to go through today has helped them learn to work in both areas. The first thing to know about being stuck is that it is a mind and body experience. We don't always think about being stuck as happening in our body, but it's the first place we look to get unstuck. We'll do a short exercise in a few minutes to help you feel where that stuck is hanging out in your body. But feeling stuck also happens in our minds. We know those thoughts of frustration that churn around and around in our heads and get in the way of moving forward. What you'll find, though, is that if you can get in tune with your body, your thoughts will follow. So there are 3 keys to getting unstuck out of just about any situation. The first key is to have clarity into why you feel stuck. We'll talk in just a few moments about what is going on when you get stuck. We all have the experience of being perfectly fine with a situation for a long time, and then suddenly starting to feel stuck in it. What has changed? The second key is learning to release the difficult feelings you have about being stuck. We'll do a 5-minute guided meditation to get you into the mindset to turn inward and check with your deepest self about what's behind your worries. And then the third key is making a clear plan to focus on your personal resources and start taking some steps that will recharge your attitude. Now there should be a link just right below this presentation that is a link to a journaling handout. So if you haven't had a chance yet to download that, why don't you go ahead and download it? If that's not going to work for you, if you're in a place where you can't do that, don't worry. Just grab a pen and a piece of paper and be ready to go through some of the exercises that we're going to go through in just a few minutes. Because as you start to connect with your inner self, you'll want to make a few notes about your insights. But before we get started today, I'd like to pause for a moment and set an intention for the work we're going to be doing today. I'd like you to bring to mind a situation in your life that makes you feel stuck. And as we said before, it could be a big stuck or a little stuck. You decide what you feel like working on today. Now take a couple of breaths and pay attention to where that feeling of stuck lives in your body. It may be in your throat or neck, perhaps in your chest or heart area. Maybe it's between your shoulder blades in the back, or maybe in your stomach, or your hips. Take a couple of deep breaths and really feel where that feeling of stuck is in your body. When you've located that area, set your intention. Ask yourself, what do I want to know at the end of this session about this feeling of being stuck? What is it that I want to understand about it? Once you have that intention set in your mind and set in your heart, let's move on to getting you unstuck. The first thing to remember about being stuck is that it's an emotional state, a combination of mind and body. This research is based on the work of Lester Levinson. According to Lester, all our feelings and emotions, either pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, rise in our bodies because of 4 basic desires. The first desire is that we want to be safe. Our strongest neurological impulse is to keep ourselves safe from harm. So no matter what we're feeling, our brains are going to want to push us into seeing things that are a little bit more dangerous than they are, because our brain really wants to keep us from harm. Another desire is to control our environment and our relationships. We want life to be predictable, and we want our relationships to be predictable. We also want approval from the people who are important to us. We want to feel that they hear us, they understand us, and they'll protect us. Our last desire is that people see us as unique and special. We want them to accept us for who we are and see the gifts that we bring to the world. Now, being stuck results from fear. And being stuck means that one of those 4 desires isn't being met in our life. In the uncertainty of life, we feel afraid of what might happen to us. And if we're feeling fear, we usually think that what's going to happen will be worse. That's the way our brain works. If we feel unsafe, we try to control what's happening around us. And when we can't control our environment or our relationships, we try to fit in to stay safe. But sometimes we fit in so well that we lose ourselves in the process. We lose that feeling of uniqueness or the meaning that we want to share with the world. Perhaps you can relate to one of those areas to where you feel stuck. Do you feel uneasy in your situation? Like you just can't count on things continuing the way they have? Are you frustrated because you can't make things turn out your way despite your hardest work? Or maybe you're trying to change yourself to please the people around you so they'll accept you. Or have you changed yourself so well that you don't really recognize yourself anymore? Now, before we spend the rest of the session so that you can unravel this for yourself, let's just spend a few minutes with a guided relaxation. This will get your mind open. This will relax your body, release some of the fear just for a moment so that you can continue on with the rest of the exercises. What I want you to do, just for a moment, is to settle in wherever you are right now and close your eyes. Start to focus inward. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths to relax your body. Know that if there is outside noise, that it won't interfere with you getting to this place of peace and calm. Now really settle into a comfortable position. Put your feet firmly on the ground and let your chair hold you. Begin by letting your awareness settle on your breath. Breathe in and breathe out, knowing that you have nothing else to do in these next few moments but to be fully present to your breath. Each breath allows you to become more relaxed and more comfortable. As you allow yourself to go deeper into a state of relaxation, perhaps you can remember a time when you stood before a pond or a lake and it was quiet and peaceful. You may have tossed a pebble into the center and noticed the ripples spreading out. One ripple after another, floating outward, getting farther and farther apart. The ripples slowed down until the water was once again calm and peaceful. I'm going to invite you now to imagine that your body is like that body of water. As you drop a pebble into the center of your body, you can feel the waves of relaxation rippling out. Waves of relaxation flowing through your body. Up through your torso, into your chest and your back. Up through your spine and spreading out into each and every muscle of your back. Through your shoulders and arms, up through your neck, your jaw, your face and scalp. Feel those ripples relax you as your muscles let go and become soft and loose. Now feel the ripples of relaxation flowing down through the bottom of your torso, flowing into your abdomen and your pelvis, down through your legs, calves, ankles, and toes. Know that each time you drop a pebble into the center of your body, you can become more and more relaxed. Now take a few breaths and enjoy that feeling of relaxation. Now it's time to reconnect with your breath. Bring your attention back to your body. Feel the air as it enters in through your nose. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Open your eyes when you're ready. Stretch if that feels good. And let's get ready for the next steps. We've seen how the first key, understanding the 4 desires and gaining clarity into your emotions, has given you some insight into feeling why you feel stuck. Now let's turn to the second key, releasing the difficult feelings you have about being stuck. Now the first thing you might notice about that is that I said releasing the difficult feelings you have about being stuck, not releasing the difficult feelings themselves. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to feel safe, to want to control what's within your ability to control, to want to give and receive approval, or to want to experience yourself as unique and separate. Our brains are wired this way at a level that is well beyond our self-control or willpower. So give yourself a break if you feel that you should change wanting these things. You want what you want. Where we find ourselves stuck is in the intense fear of not having these things. That's what gets in the way of our ability to experience them. As Lester Levinson said, you can have anything you want providing you can let go of wanting to have it. The core technique he taught for dealing with this paradox is called releasing. When we're stuck, we've proven one thing to ourselves. We know that we are capable of sustaining a particular attitude toward an idea, a goal, a relationship, or a dream. It's just that in the case of being stuck, we've proven to ourselves that we can cling to something. What we don't always realize is that in any moment, we can also choose to let it go, and then just slide back into the flow of life. When you start practice noticing which of the four wants is behind the feelings of being stuck, then you can simply let go of the desire, at least for a moment, to clear your head. Now again, I said simply. It is a very simple process to do, but it's not always an easy process to do. But if you can learn to move through the process, and if you begin to experiment with it, you'll find more and more freedom, well-being, and clarity. Your relationships will become more harmonious, and you'll be open to the moment when that right person, that right idea, that right solution, or the best result falls into your lap at exactly the right time. Now let's unravel this a little bit more. Take a second to get back in touch with the situation that feels stuck. Take a couple of breaths and bring the situation to the front of your mind. Now ask yourself, is this feeling of being stuck, does it have something to do with wanting security? Or is it about wanting control? Or maybe it's about wanting approval, or wanting to be unique. Whatever comes up, allow that to be the right answer for you. Don't judge the answer, just listen to what it wants to tell you. Now ask yourself, could I let go of wanting to change the situation? Could I let go of wanting to understand this? Could I accept that this is where I need to be? Don't judge your answers to those questions. Check in with the place in your body that feels stuck. When you ask those questions, does something shift for you? Do you feel lighter or heavier in that place? Does something release or does it constrict? Let your body tell you what it wants you to know. Whatever comes up is the right answer for you. So far, we've seen how being stuck is a mind-body experience, and how missing one of the four basic desires can trigger the feeling of being stuck. We've seen that it's a simple, but not easy, process to release the feelings that we have about being stuck and to get back into the flow of life. Now let's turn to the third key. The focus on a clear plan to pull together your personal resources to shift the situation and recharge your attitude. This is where I'm going to ask you to do some journaling. So pull out the journaling sheet or your sheet of paper and your pen. The first question, when you bring to mind this situation that you're stuck in, I'd like you to ask the question, what am I holding on to in this situation that's holding me back? I want you to spend a few moments writing about this. Is there something from the past that you've outgrown? Are you holding on to emotional patterns or possessions or habits that aren't serving you anymore? Keep writing what comes to mind when you ask yourself this question. What am I holding on to in this situation that's holding me back? Is there an attitude you have about something that isn't serving you or the people around you? Now just start to finish up with that question. And we'll switch to our next question. Am I allowing any lightness in this situation? Is there somewhere that I've closed my mind? Is there somewhere that I've shut down my emotions and my feelings? Have I stopped this situation from flowing forward? Now, as you finish up with this question, I want you to make a shift in your thinking and think of a situation where you feel really comfortable and effective. Somewhere where you're a shining star. It may be in your work or your close personal relationships. It may be a time when you really rose to a challenge. It's a place where you feel in the flow. And here I want you to think about what qualities in yourself you're bringing to the situation to make it work well for you. This slide and your download contains a list of personal qualities and strengths that we bring to our lives when we feel strong and compassionate. It is who we are when we're not feeling afraid. Take a few moments to look at the list and think about the 4 or 5 qualities that are just you when you're being your best self. You may be able to diffuse a situation with humor. Or you may show kindness to others when things are difficult. You may be the one that can keep the big vision and keep things moving forward when everyone else has lost the plot. Or maybe you use grit and determination to keep things going when they get tough. What's your unique contribution? Now I want you to think for a moment. How can you bring these qualities into the situation where you're stuck? Think about where you're stuck and see, are there some ways that you can bring your best self to the situation, despite the frustration you feel about it? Keep writing down what's coming to you. Now our next question is all about being creative. I want you to ask yourself, how can I be creative in this situation? Write down 5 ways that this situation could be resolved when you understand what is holding you back, where some lightness can be applied, and when you're acting as your best self. Write as fast as you can and don't edit. Include some crazy, unrealistic ideas. It doesn't matter. Just keep writing faster than the judgmental part of your brain can edit. If you're having trouble thinking of another idea from your perspective, try approaching it the way a friend would. Or a mentor. For instance, if you love Oprah, think about how she would approach the situation. Or a trusted family member. How would they approach it? I always like to think of a good crazy person I know. You know, the kind that are fun, outgoing, just so exuberant and love life. How would they approach the situation? Just keep writing. May involve winning a lottery, meeting Brad Pitt, anything. Just keep writing. Now take a few moments and journal about what you're starting to see about the situation. Ask yourself, what am I seeing now that I didn't see before sitting down and doing this work? Pull together all the things you've thought about so far. Where does the feeling of stuck come from? Is it wanting security, control, approval, or being unique? Could you let go of wanting to change the situation, or even wanting to understand it? Think of what's holding you back. Is there any room for lightness? Think of who you are when you are at your best. Can you bring any of those qualities to this situation? And how can there be a crazy, creative solution for this? So out of all of these threads, what are you starting to see? Think back to your intention. What did you want to know? And one last question. What can I do this week to use this clarity and focus to get unstuck? Write down at least one action you can take this week. One way you can shift your attitude. One thing you can do a little bit differently. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all the best in taking your insights from today and getting yourself unstuck. I'd love to hear how you do. My contact information is on this slide or on the download. You can email me at deirdrewalsh.ca. Let me know how you're doing to get back into the flow.